Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is King Sam, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this turn animation right here in After Effects. Turn animation is very easy and very sweet to do, and if you have been following motion design trends, a lot of creators are doing tunnels left and right and here and there. I'm going to show you guys how to create one by yourself right here in After Effects. So like this video if this video helps you in any way, and subscribe for more amazing videos like this. So let's jump right into the video. So we're basically going to start from Illustrator, and what we are going to do is we're going to create boxes like this with varying sizes and like the same swatch of colors. So this blue is the same thing with this blue, this blue, this blue, this blue, this blue, so stuff like this. And when you're just done with that, you can just save it, and I'm just going to import it into After Effects. If you don't have the patience to do that, there are going to be links in my video description to download it so you can work along with me. So I'm just going to drag it into After Effects, and I import Can't Be on Footage and merge layers and click OK. Now you're going to create a new composition, 2000 by 2000, 10 seconds, 30 frames, and click on OK. So I'm going to create a new another composition. Let's call this one animation, and this one will be a normal 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, and click on OK. Now on this our composition one here, I'm going to drop in our color AI logo right here. And now I'm just going to make sure nothing's selected down here so I can draw a tiny little rectangle like this. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the anchor point to the middle, and I'm just going to align it to the middle of my composition right here. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to my color AI file here, and I'm going to effect and presets, and I'm just going to type in corner pin. I'm just going to apply it on our logo or our layer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this way like this. I think you can do is toggle title action save so it can actually help you. And I'm just going to move this to the edge of my shape right here. So this one also, and I'm just going to move this down here. So let's zoom in and let's move this up somewhere around here, move this down somewhere around here, move this upward a little bit, so something like this. Cool. And now let's look at the edges. So I'm just dragging this one up a little bit like this. So I'm going to left click this, and I'm just going to compose it. I'm just going to leave all the attributes in composition one, and I'm just going to enter the layer. So let's just rename this color move. So let's enter it like this, and now we're going to our effect and preset panel here, and I'm just going to type in repeat, recitile, how do you call it? Reptile, and I'm just going to apply it on our layer right here. Expand right, I'm going to increase it to 2000, and expand left also to 2000. So I'm going to open my position keyframe right here, and I'm going to 5 seconds here. Now I'm just going to move this backward until it actually finishes. So here like this. And now I'm going to make a keyframe here, go to beginning of my composition here, and I'm just going to move this forward, same thing, until it finishes also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to alt click this stopwatch right here, and I'm just going to type in loop out and apply it like this so that it will keep on rotating infinitely. Infinite on infinite, let me know in my comment section. Now let me go back to my composition one here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this to the top of the layer here, and I'm just going to duplicate it. Click R to open my rotation keyframe here, and I can just rotate it 90, and I'm going to duplicate it again and rotate it 180, duplicate it again and rotate it by 270. So now let's go back to our animation layer here, and I'm just going to drag in my composition 1 here, so I can just, let's rename this so it will be better. So let's call it motion like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to my effect and preset panel here, and I'm just going to create I'm just going to type in drop shadow right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the distance to 0 and the softness I'm going to bring it up to 100 like this. Now I'm going to duplicate this 9 more times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all these layers right here, and I'm going to make them 3D layers like this. Now go to click P to open up their position properties, and I'm just going to edit the position. So starting from the lowest one, as the one down here, I'm going to leave this at 0. I'm just going to be giving them increments of 500 on their z-axis. This is going to be 1000. It's going to be 15. So it's going to be 2000. Okay, so something like this. Now what I'm going to do is I can just close them up now. And I'm going to my last layer here, this layer number 10, this layer here, and I'm going back to my project tab here, and I'm just going to duplicate this composition right here. So remember we renamed it, so let me just rename it so you can match motion. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this motion layer right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my motion 2 layer here, hold down Alt and replace it here. So now I'm going to open up my motion 2 composition right here. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to shut down all these other layers. I'm going to leave only one, and I'm going to zoom in, and I come to my effect controls here, my puppet pin, and I'm just going to move them to the center of my composition. So somewhere like here, we're going to zoom in again to see if we got it. So let's move it here like this. So something like this. I think you can get it closer if you want to. Okay, now let's zoom out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, if you want, you can actually delete this remaining 3 since you're not actually using them again. Rotate this 90. I'm going to duplicate again, and I'm going to rotate it 180. Get it the last time and rotate it 270 like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them like this, left click, and I'm going to pre-compose this layer, and I'm just going to call this first motion. And now I'm going to toggle the switches here, and I'm going to make this the track mat shape layer 1. So it's going to look like this, but this is not what I want. What you can do now is you can just click to invert the marks right here, and what you have a hole in the middle like this. So if you go back to our first motion layer here, you're going to see that there's a hole in the middle of the motion. So now let's go back to our animation layer here, and what we're going to do is we're going to the top of our animation here, so this one here, first one, and I'm going to duplicate this our new motion 2 layer here. So I'm going to get motion 3, and I'm just going to Alt and replace it on the first layer here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our motion 3 layer here. We're going to come to our shape layer here and open up our scale property. So we're going to make a keyframe here, go back to the beginning and make our scale 0. Okay, now back to animation layer here. We're going to left click, create a new camera. Preset is at 15mm, 1 node camera, and click on OK. And now I open my position keyframe by clicking P and Shift R to my position and rotation keyframe. So I come to 7 seconds right here. I'll make a keyframe my Z rotation here, it comes to the beginning of my timeline here, and I'm going to make a keyframe on my position, and I'm going to change my Z rotation to 1. Now moving back to 7 seconds right here, I'm just going to increase this until I've moved through our tunnel. So I think it's somewhere around 4,000, and I'm still going to just move finally through it like this. Now if you play it back, okay, I made a little bit of a mistake right here. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to open my first motion layer right here, and I'm going to open my color move layer right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap the keyframes. So this one right here, I'm going to move it down to 1 second, and this one here, I'm going to move it to 5 seconds. So let's just arrange it properly, and like so. Okay, what I'm just going to do now is I'm coming to my camera layer here, click on it to open up my keyframes right here, and I'm just going to click F9 to easy use them. But now from this layer right here to the second to the last layer, I'm going to open up their rotation keyframes. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mess with their rotation anyhow I want to, so that it will give a lot more dynamicity. I know that's not a word, but to be short, I just want it to be more dynamic. So I'm just going to rotate here, and mind you, I'm rotating only the Z axis. So I'm not rotating like any other axis, only the Z axis. And now I'm just going to close them up. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to animate our ball. So I'm just going to my rectangle tool here, and I'm just going to create an ellipse. So something like this. Make sure it's white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to 0 seconds here and open my position keyframes on my position property, and I'm just going to make a keyframe right here, back to 0 seconds, and I'm just going to, let's make sure the anchor points at the middle, and I'm just going to move it out my frame like this, and come to 2 seconds right here, and I'm just going to move it this way, 3 seconds, and move it this way. Let's go to 4 seconds, and cross it to this side right here, 5 seconds, bring it over this here, 6 seconds, bring it back to somewhere here, and 7 seconds right here. We're just going to drag it out our shot right here. Now I can select all my files here. Let's go back to the beginning, and I'm going to my pen tool, and I'm just going to click on any of the points right here. So now I can just make the motion a lot smoother. Now I'm just going to click on S to open my scale property here, and I'm going to go to 1 second here and make a keyframe here. Going to 6 seconds here, make another keyframe right here. 7 seconds right here, I'm going to change my scale downward to 50, and I'm going to do the same thing for 5 seconds right here, change the scale to 50. Beginning here, I'm going to change the scale to 50, come to around 2 seconds here, change the same to 50, 3 seconds, I'm going to change the scale to 30, 4 seconds, I'm going to change it to 50, and on 5 seconds here, I'm just going to bring it back to 30. So now if you play this again, and that is looking beautiful. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to my type tool here, and I'm just going to type the word subscribe, and I'm just going to align it to the middle of my composition right here.
and I'm going to create a new solid, and it can be any color you want. Click on OK. Now going to effect on presets right here, and I'm just going to type in gradient ramp. And now start color, I'm going to make it dark blue, so something like this, not too dark. And my end color, I'm just going to make it full black, so like this. And I'm going to change my lamp shade to radial ramp, and I'm just going to move my start to the middle right here, and then the end I'm going to drag it out like this, so I have a subtle vignette. And now I can just push my subscribe layer above this like this. So I'm going to select these two layers, and I'm just going to drag it down to the bottom of my composition right here. I'm going to make the both of them 3D. Now I'm going to change my viewports here. I'm going to change it to top view so I can actually see everything. So let me zoom out. Click on P to open my position keyframes, and I'm just going to move these two layers to the back of my composition like this. So let's keep on moving them. Let's say somewhere around here. Now I can change it back to active camera, and then you can just zoom in now, and this is what we have.
Thank you guys for watching that video. If this video has helped in any way, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content like this. And now that I've learned how to make this animation, why don't you learn how to make this one here, or you can take your chance at learning this. And I'll see you in the next video. Remember, improve every day, grow constantly, and dream endlessly.